Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how I found out I was pregnant. So I am currently 7 months pregnant. I am 30 weeks. Every Saturday I turn a new week, so this Saturday coming up I'll be 31 weeks, and then the countdown begins. Well, now there's only like 10 more weeks, but so I'm due July 6th. I am having a girl, and I do have her name picked out. Her name is gonna be Nevaeh Juliet Estrada. If I have a girl, even before I knew I was having a girl, I already had Nevaeh picked out. Like, I was like, yeah, I need to have a girl because I want to name my daughter Nevaeh Juliet. Okay, so yeah, how I found out in the beginning of October of 2018, now April. And honestly, I just had like a feeling, like people always told me that when you're pregnant you just know, and I was like, okay, whatever, but it's true. Like, I don't know, I just had a feeling. I mean, there was signs and stuff, but they weren't really like, there was only one big sign, which was obviously a missed period. But I only was late by one day, and I was just like, I was late one day, and I was already telling him like I need to take a pregnancy test, because it was just like, I don't know, it was just a feeling. It was a gut feeling. And my period, it's very, very regular. I got my period around the same time every month. And if I were to be late, I honestly couldn't remember any time that my period was ever late. And if it was late, it would probably just be one day. But this one time that it was one day late, I was just like, I don't know. So it was the beginning of October, and I was supposed to get my period, and Mother Nature said, you're not getting your period this month, sorry sweetie. And I went to work that day, and I told one of my friends, and I was just like, girl, my period's late, I think I'm pregnant. And she was just like, I don't know, because like she would always joke around. Every time I would tell her, be like, guess what, or whatever, she would just be like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, no. And then so she was just like, I don't know, she's like, you should wait. And I was like, yeah, I should just wait like a little bit, my period's probably gonna come. I will wait to see if it comes. So I go home. Well, I don't go home that night, I go home with him that night, and we're going home from work because we worked together. And so we're on our way back to his house, and then we pass a Walgreens or like a CVS or something like that, and I was just like, should we take a test, should we not? And he was just like, no, we should wait. And like, me being so indecisive, I was like, yeah, we should wait. But I was like, but this, but that, like, no, we should just take the test just in case, like, you know, like, I was like, but then in my head I was like, what if it's too early? Like, sometimes, you know, if you're too early it'll come out negative, but in reality you're still pregnant, which is what happened to me, because I had taken a test before that, and it was maybe like a week or two before this time that I'm telling you about. I took the test and that came out negative, so it was just like, okay. But then 2 weeks later was when I missed my period, and now we're back to what I was talking about. So we went to go buy the test, and the thing came with 3 tests, and I was just like, okay, so I'm just gonna have them on me, but I won't take them yet. So we went back to his house, and they were just like, the tests were just like in my purse, and it was just like eating me from the inside. Like, I was like, oh, I can't wait. So I convinced him to, like, for us to take the test. Well, for me to take the test. And so I grabbed one of the tests, and I went into the bathroom, and, you know, you pee on it, and then you have to wait 3 minutes. It was like 3 to 5 minutes or something like that. I kid you not. As soon as I peed on this stick, before I even stood up and started pulling up my pants, I already saw the positive sign coming up. And I quickly like flipped the test upside down so it was on the sink face down, and like me already seeing that I saw that it was already forming the positive sign, I was just like, no. Like I'm just tripping. Like so I pulled up my pants, whatever, called him into the bathroom, and I was telling him, I didn't tell him that I had already seen it like forming. I just told him like, okay, like we're gonna do this together. So you know, we waited a little bit, like not even, I don't know, we just waited like a minute, just because like we were just like sitting there and just scared. Like I mean, in my head it wasn't like, no, there's no way I can be pregnant, because you know how babies are made, you know, like things happen. So he flips it over and my eyes are still covered, and just by hearing him like you can hear it in his voice, like he didn't say anything, but he was just like and I was just like, I instantly just started bawling my eyes out. Like I already knew that meant that there was a positive sign on that stick. And he was just like, you're pregnant. And he started hugging me because I was crying, and then like he started crying. And it was just like it was such like a crazy feeling. Like I was scared mostly, which is, I'm sure that's what the tears were. I was scared. I couldn't believe the fact that, you know, I peed on the stick and it came out positive. Like, and then it was just like, I couldn't grasp the fact that it was just like, okay, like, now what? Like, it's just like, just in that moment, it was such a surreal moment that I was just like, how? I was just like, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. Pregnant. So I was just like, okay. So I was like, no. So remember how I said there was 3 tests? So I took one. And I was just like, I'm gonna take another one. Like, I don't care if I have to force this pee out of me, I'm gonna take another one. So I started drinking water, and I got the second test and I peed on it, and again, right away, not even 30 seconds after peeing on it, came up positive. And I was just like, I must be like not far along, but far enough for it to be like popping up like instant on a 3 to 5 minute test. I was like, okay. So I was just not convinced. I was like, I need to take the third one. So the third one, I literally got like maybe 5 drops of pee on it, because, you know, I already took 2 pregnancy tests. There wasn't nothing much left in me to pee out. So, and even with the tests that I got only a few drops of pee on, right away came up positive. So I was indeed pregnant. So then I was just like we were just in shock. We were just like he was just like, you're pregnant, like you're really pregnant. So after that, the friend that I told you that I told I was gonna take a test, I FaceTimed her. This was like 12 in the morning. I FaceTimed her and I was just like, dude. And she was just like, what? And I was like, I took the pregnancy test and I'm pregnant. And I showed her the test and she was like freaking out. She was like, oh my god. And then we were just like, I was crying again, and I was just like, I was like, and then we were trying to like figure out like how far along am I, like, and I was just like, probably just like a few weeks. But I was just so shook, you guys. I went home that night and I brought the test in my purse, and I was just like, I don't know. how to feel. I was just feeling like, I was just shocked. I was just like, this is really happening. Like, there's actually a life inside of me. Like, for a long time. So I went to Planned Parenthood. Yes, I went to Planned Parenthood. So because I had an actual doctor and I had like the whole insurance stuff, but there was no way that I was gonna go to the doctor without my parents seeing something come up from the doctor, or like a bill or something. Like, I was just scared that like if I went to my regular doctor, somehow it would get to my parents before I even got the chance to like let it sink into me, you know? Like, and then so go to Planned Parenthood, they make me pee in a little cup and they do like the little pregnancy test, and then she has me waiting in a room, and then like a few minutes later she comes back and she's like, well, you're definitely pregnant. And then she was asking me like when my last period was, and I had the little period tracker app on my phone, so I was able to like see the exact dates of like when my last period was, which was September something. And then so she's like, okay, so that puts you around 3 weeks. And so I go back out there and he's waiting for me in the waiting room, and I show him like all the paperwork and stuff, and he's like, oh my god, he's like 3 weeks. And I was just like, I've been pregnant for 3 weeks and I did not know. And then after that is when I started thinking like, how am I gonna tell my parents? You know, I am the oldest child. My dad always told me, like, he would always tell me, you know, Mexican dads, he was always like, if you get pregnant at a young age, I'm kicking you out of the house, take all your stuff, and go, you know? So I was just like, my dad's gonna beat me. Like, I already knew my mom was like gonna be less mad because like she's just my mom, but my dad, I was so scared. So that's when I started like, I was just like thinking like, okay, what do I do now? But after that, I just went to the store, got the prenatals, and I hid them in my underwear drawer, thinking nobody's ever gonna see them. But then me hiding them in there is how my parents found out. And I'm not gonna put that in this video because I don't want this video to be too long, but I'll probably do like a part 2 to this video of how my parents found out, or how I had to tell my parents. So yeah, that is pretty much how I found out that I was gonna become a mom at 19. Yeah, so it's now April. I'm due in July, so almost there. We're way past the halfway mark, and yeah, now we're just waiting on her. So yeah, you know, being pregnant is just such a crazy thing to me. Sometimes I even like, sometimes we'll still be talking about it, like, I cannot believe like there's an actual baby like growing inside of me. Like, my body is doing what it's meant to do, and it's just like such a natural thing, but it's just so crazy. Like, it's just like like pregnancy is a normal thing, you know, but when it happens, it's just like, oh my god. I don't know, it's just it's so crazy that like, wow, how basic of me to start tearing up in a pregnancy video. But it's just it's so crazy, and just like feeling her every time she kicks or moves or whatever. It's just it's so crazy to be that like she's half of me and half of him, and like she's, I don't know, she's just gonna be a beautiful human being. And now, like, my parents were angry at first, but, or they weren't really mad, they were just more like, you know, I wanted they were just like, I wanted a better life for you, like I wanted you to at least finish school or something like that. But it was just like, you know, things aren't gonna be impossible. They will be harder, but not impossible. And I agree 100%. And I already know this little girl is going to be spoiled because my whole family, all my tias, my grandmas, all my uncles, my cousins, they're all so excited for this little girl. Like, everybody's just waiting on her now. My baby shower is coming up in June, so I'm excited for that too. I kind of want to vlog, but I don't know, maybe. Yeah. A lot of people tell me I'm not like super big to be the amount of months that I am. So yeah, this is my stomach. 7 months. So yeah, guys, that is the story of how I found out that I was pregnant. Yeah, it's not like a super crazy story, you know. It was just missed my period, had a feeling, so I took a test and it came out positive. The end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.